it's such an honor to have Grammy Award winning Keyon Harrold in the building. Like, you touched so many lives. Like, everyone's favorite musician, you touched.
Oh, man.
J, B, Common, D'Angelo, Maxwell, Mac Miller. Like, discography's crazy, man. So thank you for coming through.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here, man. It's seriously my pleasure.
So, you being from Missouri, getting your musical start in New York, why did you come to the Bay, to the Black Cat, to record this record?
Man, I'll give it to you in the short. I was in New York in a little club called Smalls. It's one of the spots that everybody goes to. They stay open to about 5 in the morning, where all the young cats come and they play and they do their thing, you know. I was just there to hang and chill. And I met a guy, his name is Fritz. Actually, he runs Black Cat. So, and it was before he opened it, and we talked, and we had this synergy, and we were just talking like, yo, man, we should do something. And, you know, he's like, yo, you should come to my spot, and I want you to open it. And he wanted me to do a tribute to Miles Davis, because I had just did the Miles Davis film with Don Cheadle, Robert Glasper. And he was like, yeah, man, I really love your work, and I would love to just do a tribute, you know. So that didn't work out. So since then, it's been about 3 years ago now that I've been like, you know what, we'll just stay in contact and we'll figure out how to do something special. Fast forward, about 4 months ago, I came here. I was playing at SF Jazz, and I came just to hang out with him, just to chop it up. And just the energy was like, you know what? I think I should record here because I want to do something special, so we'll do that. So, you know, that was the beginning of the idea of making it happen, and we're doing it now. And, it, you know, just the vibe is crazy. I wouldn't change it. Like, it's really, really special.
Man, I don't know if you know what you're doing to the Bay because of technology, the Bay is changing. And to revive the Tenderloin with jazz music at this time in 2019, like, I don't even think you know how you're innovating. Like, man, how does it feel to be a part of that?
Man, it's an amazing opportunity, first of all, to share music and to spread love, spread vibes, you know, spread the real humanity music to get to people's souls. That's what I'm all about, and I'm just happy that I have the honor to do it here, you know.
Exactly. So we got my man Squint in the building.
One time, Squint.
I always have to find out like how he interacts with so many greats like you. Like, y'all remember how y'all's path crossed?
I think it was at a Maxwell concert.
It was.
I don't know which one it was, but
I'm trying to. Was it with the one with Raphael Sadiq?
No, it was way before that. Way before that.
No, it was right. It might have been close to a war fight, potentially. It was definitely with Kenneth.
Yeah, but because the Raphael Sadiq, Kenneth wasn't there at that one.
Okay. It was a minute ago. It had to be around 2012, 2013.
Yeah. But I remember meeting. I was such a fan of him like before, you know, and so seeing. I mean, he's a great, you know, and just being a fan of all you guys and seeing like being able to spend time with you guys. Oh, it was the winery. I remember. It was a Saratoga winery outside.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
you know?
There it is.
And then you guys had like a couple dates here. And so being able to connect with them. And I mean, it just like people don't understand like jazz is huge for me. And especially these guys, like I've been a huge fan for years. And so, I mean, I could literally spend a year plus just listening to jazz and I don't listen to anything else, you know? And I get lost. And so to actually have like music today with that style is insane, you know?
So to call you Keyon Harrold a jazz musician it doesn't do your work justice, to be honest.
That's true. One
element. And I love your journey to get to Common. Like, it wasn't a planned journey. Like, tell me about that and like how that changed, you know, the trajectory of your career.
Got you. When I was, 17, I went to college in New York, like a fish out of water from Ferguson to New York City was crazy. It was a quick change. So, you know, I came to New York with big dreams of being the next great jazz musician, you know, trying to pattern myself after Wynton Marsalis, and, you know, Roy Hargrove and, you know, the cats.
Yeah.
And what happened was I met some amazing people. It was a great crop of people, you know, in my class was like Robert Glasper, the Strickland brothers, Mike Moreno, Tiambe Lockhart. I mean, so many, you know, amazing, you know, people, and we would just be chilling in the hallway. Anyway, at that time was an amazing time, 99. Voodoo was being recorded at Electric Lady Studio, which was about, you know, 4 blocks from our school.
Yeah.
Like Water for Chocolate was being recorded. Bilal's record, Firstborn Second, was being recorded. Erica's record, Mama Gun, was all being recorded at that same time.
Things
at the
Fall
same
Apart?
studio. Probably.
Yeah, that whole Soquarians.
I think that might have been a little bit before.
Okay.
Yeah, but still all you know, the same synergies, the same energies.
Wow.
But anyway, I came to New York City like, you know, I'm gonna do this jazz thing. I wasn't even thinking about the idea of working with somebody like Common or anybody, but that was my first professional gig.
Wow.
You know, the only gig I ever auditioned for was I auditioned for Common, and that changed my whole thing because, you know, I was really focused on trying to do the jazz club life.
Yep.
But that just opened up music to me, opened up production, opened up life, opened up different relationships, opened up my scope for what music should be and the kind of music that I want to make. Before that, it was limited.
Yeah.
So, you know, that definitely changed me.
So your scope for what music should be, like, what was it and what is it now?
What it was then was, you know, I have respect for all the greats, Wayne Shorter, you know, Herbie, and I mean Herbie's actually all the guys I'm gonna name, they all have gone somewhere else. You know, they've gone to the ethos. Like they're crazy. But, you know, at one point in time it was like, you know, straight ahead jazz.
Yeah.
You know, ting 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 ting, you know.
Yep.
A very, very niche kind of existence. But, you know, when I started working with Common, that totally opened it up. You know, I started learning about, you know, Fela Kuti. Started learning about, you know, so many amazing artists that changed the world.
Yeah.
You know, really, really opened me up to more than just jazz.
Yeah.
It was, you know, definitely pivotal for me.
I think it's interesting though, like you say, like how it opened up your spectrum of jazz, but still being able to maintain the integrity of it and still allowing the music to evolve, you know, like. And
that, you know, that is my ultimate goal, man, to, you know, keep the integrity of what the music is. You know, I love the baseline of what jazz is. I love the feeling. I love the technique. I love the harmonic structures. I love the beats. I love everything about it, but that's not it though, because I grew up at a time that hip hop was very prevalent. You know, my parents were pastors. My sisters love R&B. I like classical music. I learned classical music growing up playing the trumpet, so it all makes sense to me. It wasn't just jazz. So me, you know, as an artist trying to figure out a way to use all of those elements and make something special is, you know, my dream and what I feel I'm now getting to at this age from, you know, from playing with the artists that I work with. I'm able to now, you know, kind of summarize it and you know, package it in a way that's, you know, easily accessible for the person who's never even heard jazz. You know, I've been blessed. Like, I mean, I remember, you know, speaking to certain people after I perform, and they would come up to me and say, you know, I never really liked jazz, but I like what you're doing.
Wow.
You know, so whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing that. And that's what I need. So, you know, it's not, you know, it's not limited, but it's also accessible to the regular person. That's the kind of music I want to make, man. I want people to come together. I want people to I want to breathe life, you know, through the music.
Yeah.
Whew, man, you dropping bars all day. I see a lot of connections actually between us. From Missouri, my pops from Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Parents
Show
are
me
pastors.
state. Okay.
Same.
Okay.
And I want to ask you about probably my favorite track that on your last record is Voicemail.
Oh, wow.
Like, I pray with my mom Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the phone.
Amazing, man.
So when I heard your mom spitting wisdom, like, let's talk about that. Like, how has that anchored your career? You know, she talked about you're gonna go through trials and tribulations. What trials and tribulations have you had to push through with God being the anchor?
Oh man, we're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be here all day and all night. You know, so many. First of all, that song was very, very special to me, because my mom, first of all, she's a special person. I come from a family of it's 16 of us, so you know. But my mom was able to really keep a relationship with each person. Like, I mean, you know, she had 60 grandkids, but everybody has a personal relationship that, you know, was connected to her. So, you know, it seems like it was a lot, but it wasn't for her. She always had the right thing to say. When I wrote that track, you know, she left a voicemail for me, her thing with me, because I was always the one who was gone. I'd be all over the world. I'd be in Russia, you know, Thailand, wherever. And she would call just to check on me. And if she wouldn't get me, she would always leave a voicemail. So she left this one that was just like perfect, unedited. I just said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to add music to that. And that's what happened with it. It's even more special now because I lost my mom in November. So every time I come to the stage, that's the first thing that I hear. That's the first voice that I hear when I'm playing. So it, you know, it just, first of all, makes me remember. Second of all, it puts me in a space that lets me know that, hey, you know, I'm still watching over you. And that, you know, hey, it will be trials, you know, you're going to make it though. You know, things that helps me get through, you know, shit. I'm kind of young, but I've been through divorce. I've been through so many different things. I've been through, you know, a lot of real life stuff, career changes, ups, downs, in between, you know, as an artist, you know, when it rains, it rains, you know, when it doesn't, it's droughty, if that's a word, you know. So, you know, her words of wisdom and the word, you know, many words, the words of God, everything, anything that will help me grow my faith, it keeps me grounded and keeps me pushing forward, man. So that voicemail is special to me always.
I feel like, but even as you say that, I feel like now you got a grasp on like who you are. You know, like I got a chance to see the show the other night, and incredible. Just the environment, the type of people, and you know, I said earlier, like it was like we were all family. You know, like one of the first shows I've ever been to where the whole crowd was involved and felt like a family. And I mean, everyone was showing out from Cedric to, you know, like, I mean, the whole squad, Burners, yourself, like, it's like you guys were in rare form. And it's two shows. It was two different sets, you know? So it's like, you don't know what to expect, but the level of like, it's like you coming out. It's like your Phoenix, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it. Really, man. And it's such a cool vibe to just have a family of musicians and artists a collective of people that I rock with, that rock with me, and it's all love. You know, from the beginning, you know, I've known Bilal, like literally, like I heard Soul Sister before it came out, like that kind of thing. You know, the first tour that I did with Common, Bilal was on that tour. Wow. You know, doing a couple songs on Common's set. You know, it was a crazy time.
I love hearing the personal connection to the music. I was listening to your boy Robert.
Okay.
And he was talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, I think sometimes was about a relationship that Robert was going through that Bilal was writing about. And which is crazy to me is like how intertwined y'all's lives are.
Oh man, let's go get something to eat.
Right.
Let's go get this Chinese spot. Like we chilling.
So how'd you meet Robert? Yeah.
I met Robert in high school. Him, Terrence Martin, we all met the same day at this jazz camp called Vail Jazz Camp. It was amazing. It was incredible, transformative actually. And we've just been boys ever since then. I was sophomore, Rob and Terrence were seniors. And, you know, Still the brothers.
Wow.
You know, and Rob and I went to the new school together. Terrence obviously was in L.A.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I got a question actually between the parallels of y'all's lives. Like, for me, my introduction to modern jazz was you and Robert.
Oh, wow.
And so because of what you guys did within the scope of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
you started it, or did Robert start it?
Well,
did he follow you? Did you follow him? Did you do it together?
No. Rob was working with Bilal. Rob was working with all kind of people. Rob introduced me to Common. You know, because this is the thing with how I got the job working with Common. Obviously, Bilal was working with Common.
Yeah.
Robert met Common through Bilal. It's so intertwined.
Wow.
And Roy Hargrove was at the pinnacle of his success at that time. He couldn't do the tour, so Common had an audition. Common asked Robert if he knew some trumpet players, and Robert recommended me, and I went and did the audition, and that's how that happened. So it's all intertwined.
It's like the timing of it, you know, and we get these greats out of it, you know. Like, it's interesting. Like, how did that transition from your involvement with hip hop, jazz, and then moving over to like film and doing this monster film about Miles Davis, which like that's like, how does something like that happen? You know?
I mean, you know what it is? It's all one and the same, really.
True.
You know, I think so, because it's all music. It's all, you know, representation at the highest level, whether it be visual or whether it just be performing. I think it's really, really close. You know, people know how to find greatness wherever it is. You know, it just happens that way. So people want to know what's the cool music. You're gonna find it. What's the vibes? What's the heat? You know, people know how to find it, man. But going from jazz to film, you know, from writing to performing, you know, I think it goes hand in hand, personally.
What's the process like to find the musician to fill the shoes of Miles Davis in his absence? What is that like?
Man.
How they find you?
Honestly, seriously, small world. Don Cheadle, Robert Glasper, because Rob did the film score. That's what I'm saying. That's my man. First of all, it just worked right. The connections to Miles Davis, St. Louis. Miles' first band that he ever played in St. Louis was Eddie Randall and the Blue Devils, which is my cousin. My cousin, Quincy Troop, wrote Miles' autobiography. They were looking for a trumpet player who had the ability to, you know, first of all, appreciate Miles, but at the same time, have the knowledge and the skill to make what he might sound like, you know. So they called me to do it, and it was an amazing experience to do it. It was literally like, if I would have thought about it too much at the time, if I would have fanned out too much, I probably would have hit myself. You know, I probably would have fell off a cliff, because that's what it was like. It was like, either do this shit, either jump or fall flat on your face.
Wow.
Jump and fly. So that's what I felt like when doing it. I didn't really think about, oh my God, it's Miles Davis. I just looked at it like, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is what they want me to do. I'm gonna make it happen. You know.
But you took that torch and ran, because like you played his parts in the film as well.
Yeah. So anytime in the Miles Ahead film you see Don Cheadle like playing, unless it's a Miles Davis recognizable recording,
right?
Like anything from Kinda Blue or Sketches of Spain. Everything else is me playing.
But the blend was, because I was like, how did they get this archive? Like, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
it was
the
a
estate
process.
must have been crazy, but like, it's you playing that. That's the wild thing. Like, I mean, even when I was watching the show the other night, it's like, I said this, it's like you're watching Miles Davis, but as Keyon. You know, meaning he is able to take it to that level of greatness and beyond. And it's like the passing of the torch. It's like where you would want the music to continue to go on and keep living. And you've done it so well, you know.
Bro, I'm trying, man. Trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, it's going.
You know, build on to the continuum, you know.
Yeah, man. And it is such a continuum. Like, I was discussing with Squint, like, how jazz horns have become pop records, like
Exactly.
Rock Boys.
Haha, throwback.
Man, I was hooping with Squint. Son had a birthday party. We were hooping a couple weeks ago. The joint that comes on is Rock Boys, and I didn't know that was you.
Yeah. And I mean, you got that my youngest brother. I always told him, like, if you want to make great music, the great songs of hip hop have always had that. From like Troy, Tell a Reminiscence of You. You played it the other night, Diggable Planets. Like these memorable tracks have always been the horns. And if you invest in Tribe Called Quest, I mean, I can go on. It's a list, Yeah, exactly.
Horns.
So the more you invest in the horns, it's like it's a guarantee. Even from the stuff Kanye's done, like you see, it's a guarantee. If you play the horns, you'll see it's always a hit.
Listen to Squint. Listen to Squint. He knows.
Horns make hits.
They do.
Seriously. Like, man, I'm so, I love that the process of being that. And, I've been lucky, man, working with Jay. Kanye played on his records.
Wow.
Beyonce, all of them.
Right.
Been blessed, man.
So I want to end with this. All of these giants, man, you've been in the room because you are a giant. And I feel like man would deem that as beyond successful. How do you define success? How does Keyon define success?
How do I define success? When the art lines up with the finances, when that lines up with the family, when that allows you to go to sleep at night and wake up tomorrow and you feel all right. In the short. Yeah. If all those things could come together, I define that as success. And, that you leave a mark on the world. You leave a time capsule for, in 20 years, people can look back and say that you were here. So I think that would be successful.
Leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah. What's in that time capsule that's outside of music for you?
Outside of music, I'm obviously my son. What else? I'm still cultivating it right now. Visually, I definitely want to live some more life and figure out where that takes me. Yeah. This is probably my third lifetime in this life, I would say. So, I'm trying to define, what the great one is. I've lived a lot of life. I think there's a lot more to come. My career has been one that started off as me. Then it started out with me working with so many different people, but I had to redefine that to be myself again. Wow. So, I'm defining what that is again, which is just, it's weird. It feels like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but it's like, repackaging yourself, So I'm doing that for it to be the happiest version of myself. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I was gonna say that because you remain, the level of gratitude is always so pure, and the level of like humility, like you could tell, like you love everyone and you love what you do, and you give. It's like it's very few artists that can actually give people something. Like like you give the listeners so much of yourself, but it's like whatever we're all dealing with, you say, man, I've gone through it too. And here you go. Here's something to help you. Because like you make the music, but we live it. Like we listen to it. So it means probably a lot more to us because, you record it, you cut it, ship it out. But we spend the hundreds of hours listening to your music and actually living it. And so
it's getting into your spirit, getting into your psyche and everything.
Yeah.
And it's true. I personally am the type of artist that I have to go through it, or else it will sound contrived. You can tell, like if you're just listening to me, you can tell if I've felt that part of life, whatever it is I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can tell what I'm feeling. I wear it on my sleeves, like straight up. You're gonna get the real me. You'll know.
Yeah.
And there's so many artists who are not like that. I ain't hating, but it just is what it is. That's and, right. I personally, aspire to make connections. That's deep. That's deeper than music. The music is the conduit, but soul. I want to be able to, connect in that way.
And I don't feel like like when people go through the eye of the storm, I feel like you kind of went through that, and now it's like you're coming out to a point where like I said, it's something special. Like you got something extremely unique that will last a long time. I'm not the only one saying this. Like this is like a person when people talk about you behind your back, like how great the music is, and every single person has this high level of respect. It's like it's incredible. And it brings out the best. It's like Jordan brought out Curve. I'm serious. Like these were great people that could play. They made it to the league, but when they got around certain people,
elevate.
Yeah, they learned something. And that's one thing I realized with you. Like you're doing the same that your mentors and people did for you. You've taken it and evolved it even more. To actually say, I could take this on my back. I got it. So, yeah, extremely. Yeah. So yeah, you one of the truest innovators. Especially like I appreciate you for real.
Bro, appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Very welcome, man. Seriously, doing what I can, with what I got. Well, try to make it do what it do.
Shout out to Ray Charles, man. All right, that's the Untold Podcast with Keyon Harrold.
Yes, sir. Peace and love.
Thank you for listening to the Untold Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for more.